Alright, we got a rebuild kit here. Let's see what's in this. Looks like you got your spring, your plunger. Plunger's got a seal on it, a new snap ring, and the end right there. A little disc. So these are actually fairly simple to rebuild. You just got to make sure to put everything back in the exact same order that it came out in. That's the most important part. But let's open up the Master and see what we got. If you look, there is a snap ring there that holds everything. I do this in a pan because, as you see, it's still got some fluid in it, so if you turn it different ways, it's going to leak. Hold your thumb over it like that because it is spring loaded and it'll shoot out at you. So I always pull that out the direction it came, put it face down over here. There's your plunger. It wasn't leaking by this. Oh, there goes the washer that fell. That was on the bottom of this. That in order. That was underneath it. See if I could dig this out. So I want to note the direction that it was pointing because it does have an interesting shape to it. So that's what I'm trying to look at before I actually pull it all the way out. Let me grab some pliers. Here's the little diaphragm. I suspect this is what was leaking. It's usually what leaks if it leaks internally like that because we didn't have any external leaks. I don't see any tears or anything. There's your spring. I believe that's it. Here. Yep. I don't know if you could see that. There you go. Now time to check the bore. Show you on camera. If there's scores in the cylinder, that'll cause leak by. I don't really see anything that stands out. Let me dry this off and then I'll get a better look at it without some fluid, make sure there's nothing scored because that'll cause something to leak. Right. So I cleaned out the master cylinder real good. I did not find anything. It looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see or not. It's terrible here. Even the cross hatching and everything on it is nice. Looks brand new, which is to be expected for something with less than 1,000 miles on it. But with my symptoms of things leaking back, you have this chamber here, and then you have a little bit back here, which there should be no fluid coming back here because you have the plunger. So what happens is when you compress, you step on the pedal, it's pushing the fluid that's building up in here out this line and then into your slave. So if you have a tear in this seal right here, When you push down, it'll compress and push the hydraulic fluid out that way. But then if you have a tear in it, it'll leak back into this chamber a little bit, and then you'll have to pump up the pedal like I did. I did not have any leaking back here, which means the back seal on the plunger is good. So nothing was dripping out. So the original one I replaced, that's why I replaced it, clutch was actually working fine. But it was a little bit wet around the seal, so I just did it as a precaution, and then this thing goes bad on me. So I'm going to put it back together. I did want to show you the differences. This is an Exedy unit. I got a Mazda rebuild kit, and there are some differences. First, this is an Exedy plunger. It is steel. The Mazda plunger, I measured the diameters, they're identical. Mazda one is plastic. Seals are a little bit different. You can see right there. And also, these bleed holes here, the Mazda one has 6, Exedy has 4. So, but other than that, dimensionally they're identical. Seal's a little bit different. I'm probably going to use the steel one since this wasn't leaking on me. I feel better having the steel in there, and this came with the body of that, so I'd feel more comfortable reusing this. The other difference in the kit are the spacers for the plunger. Right here, you can see the 4 holes that were touching the steel, so that's a spacer slash washer, so that can allow stuff to bleed back. The Mazda rebuild comes with just a plastic washer to block off those holes. So I am going to rebuild this with the new spring, the new seal, since this is probably what was causing my issue. I haven't found any tears in the one I pulled out, but it feels significantly softer. Like, it's just really mushy compared to the new one. This is actually pretty firm rubber, so maybe we had a bad batch of this rubber and the brake fluid got to it, and it's just, you know, it was kind of peeling back or something. This is typically, you'll see tears in this, or you'll see get it to focus. There you go. Typically you'll see tears like on the edges if there's scoring or whatnot in the bore. But like I said, I didn't find anything with this other than it being just real like mushy. So I'm going to rebuild it using half and half parts. I'm going to use the Exedy plunger, like I said, and the washer, and then the new spring seal, and everything else looks the same. So you do not want to put this back together dry. Always get some clean brake fluid. Lube up the seals, because you will just destroy a seal if you put it back together dry. Seal, I'll lube this up. Same thing with this. I did clean it off. Also pour just a little bit in here. Make sure to get it all over the walls. I don't like using anything but brake fluid. I've seen people say, you know, use silicone grease or something like that. It's supposed to be compatible, but just use clean brake fluid, because that's all I want in my system. I'd rather not have any kind of contaminants. So reverse order, you got your spring. Actually, I'm going to put the seal on first. So super important not to roll that lip, because if you install that and the lip rolls back, then it's just gonna bleed. So that's one reason why you gotta lube it up. Alright, so got that in there. Then I'm gonna go with my washer that I'm using. I'm gonna put it in the same order. So you got these holes, I know those were up against my plunger there. So you can see that, you can see the holes. 4 holes. Make sure it operates nice and smooth. Again, make sure you got brake fluid on that seal. And then here's the trick with putting this back together, is make sure, again, you don't roll this seal. Give it a few plunges. Get my flashlight and take a peek all the way around. It is under spring tension, so if you let go, it'll pop off and hit you back in the face. So I hold that down. I get my snap ring. Snap ring pliers. Bam. There you go. Double check. Make sure it's sealed all the way around. Nice and seated. We're good to go. Got a freshly rebuilt Clutch Master. Let's hope this fixes our problem. If not, then I'm gonna guess there's a issue on the bore somewhere that I could not see. I'm hoping that's not the case. If you know how to rebuild one of these, you could rebuild your slave as well.